The Cincinnati Bengals have a serious case to win it all this year. Let's talk about it. My name's Noah. Let's talk about some football. We are super close to week 1. I really cannot wait. It's literally 2 Sundays away. The Bengals are going to be one of the best teams in 2024. No beating on the bush. Let's recap really quickly how they ended the 2023 season, and then let's give our predictions for 2024, go over what has changed and why I think they can win it all. And this could be Joe Shiesty's first ring. Let's get into it. So the Bengals finished last season with a 9-8 record. Joe Burrow did have to leave prematurely with a hand injury, and in came Jake Browning. Honestly, Jake Browning did better than a lot of people thought, me included. Jamar Chase ended up having one of his better seasons, even though he had Jake Browning throwing him the ball. So honestly, he did his job and he could have done much worse. So the biggest thing with the Bengals is obviously Joe Burrow returning. He put up 2,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 91 passer rating in his 10 games played. Without Joe Shiesty, the Bengals ended up scoring 21.5 points per game, which was 16th in the league, and also ended up ranking 22nd in the league for yards per game. Obviously, this is because they didn't have their main starting quarterback, but like I said, Browning still did better than expected. And now we know, at least if anything does happen to Burrow, they have a competent quarterback to fill his role for a bit. And like I previously stated, although there was some uncertainty at the quarterback role, Jamar Chase still had a very productive season. He ended up catching 100 passes for a total of 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging 76 yards a game, and he made the Pro Bowl. And the scary part is, I think he can put up even better numbers this season. T. Higgins only played 12 games and he caught 42 passes for 656 yards and 5 touchdowns. Tyler Boyd is no longer in the slot. He is now a Tennessee Titan, but he did put up 667 yards last season and he was a nice part of this offense. Now, I don't think this will be an issue since they do still have wide receiver Trenton Irwin. He did start 5 games last season, racking up 316 yards and a touchdown. Although Irwin is a cool wide receiver to have, the real guy to be excited about is rookie wide receiver from Alabama, Jermaine Burton. Jermaine Burton, I made a whole video about him. He's so special. He has talent. He has star written all over him. He's so special. I made a whole video about him. If you guys want to watch that, click the thing up here. I'll put it in the corner. It's a little calling card. I'll throw the thing on screen as well. Go click that if you guys are interested in Jermaine Burton. And let me give you a little bit of advice. Click now before it's too late. If you guys are in fantasy, I'm telling you guys right now, he will be a sleeper pick. If you guys don't want to watch that video, however, I will keep a short summary of him right now. To summarize it very short, he's honestly another Jamar Chase. He's 6 foot tall, he's almost 200 pounds, he's extremely talented at route running, he has very good hands, and he's super aggressive going for the ball. He's the type of receiver that is super physical, and while he's coming down with the ball, he'll fight the defender off of him and he'll do whatever he can to make that catch. Something about his play style reminds me of Rome Odunze just because he's super talented, and it's just a very, I don't know how to describe it, it's just a very raw play style, and it's just, I don't know, he just looks like a baller to me. Also, to keep it 100% honest with you guys, I think he is a steal of the draft, in my opinion. We'll have to see how that ages, but I think he is a steal of the draft. Especially when you consider that he wasn't drafted until the 80th pick in the 3rd round. And that was mainly because of potential attitude and maturity problems he had, but I don't think that'll end up being an issue. Tight end Mike Gesicki has also joined the squad this offseason. Running back Joe Mixon has left the team. He is now in Houston with CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs, and company. Last season, he put up 1,034 yards and 9 rushing touchdowns, 12 touchdowns total. Replacing him is Zach Moss, who put up 794 yards last season while splitting carries with Jonathan Taylor, and overall, I think he will be a good replacement. Will he be 100% what Joe Mixon was? I don't know, but we'll see. In my opinion though, if I had to guess, I think he'll be pretty close. Now, this offense does have a lot of potential, but this offensive line does need to improve if they want to see serious success. The O-line gave up 50 sacks last season, which was tied for 25th in the league, and that is definitely not ideal. And this is the reason the Bengals used their 1st round pick on a tackle from Georgia, Amarius Mims. He is 6'7", 340 pounds, and he's an absolute monster. From what we've seen, he's a straight up brick wall, and he absorbs anyone coming at him. Pause. Hopefully he doesn't scam Bengals fans like Evan Neal did to Giants fans. To keep things short, almost everybody on that line gave up sacks last year, with the highest being 9. Safe to say, this is almost a completely revamped line this season. A lot of work has been done to this line and the offense in general, but just as much was done to the defense. Let's talk about that as well. So last year, this Bengals defense ended 21st in the league for points per game at 22.6 and 31st in yards per game. 31st is not good because there's only 32 teams in the league. Ouch. Last year, the Bengals defense ended 21st in the league for points per game at 22.6. They also allowed a 91.4 passer rating, which was 20th in the league. 8.1 yards per attempt allowed, which was dead last in the NFL, making them 32nd in the league, along with 12.3 yards per completion, also being dead last in the NFL. So their pass defense, not great. Their rush defense, also trash. Their run defense allowed 4.7 yards per carry, ranking 30th in the league. The defensive line got 44 sacks, ranking 18th in the league. They did add Sheldon Rankins to the line, who had 6 sacks last season, and he will be replacing DJ Reader, who only had 1 sack last season, and he's more of a run stuffer than a pass rusher. BJ Hill remains on the team, and he had a decent season last year. He had 4.5 sacks and 51 tackles. They also used their second round pick on defensive tackle Chris Jenkins from Michigan, who is a 6'2", 300-pound beast. He's definitely going to be solid, adding some size and depth to that defensive line. Defensive end Trey Hendrickson is hoping to have another great season. He popped off last year and got 17.5 sacks and made the Pro Bowl, and honestly he doesn't get the recognition he deserves because he's gotten at least 13 sacks in 3 of his last 4 seasons. Now overall, I think this team has made some great moves and they've really added some depth, and we can honestly expect a much better performance this season than we saw last season. Obviously, Joe Burrow was out. We really cannot take last season too seriously. But when it really boils down to things, I think we're going to see the Bengals that we're used to seeing in the most recent years. We're going to probably see the Bengals make it very deep into the playoffs, if not the Super Bowl. And honestly, I'm putting it out here right now. I think Bengals have a very good shot at the Super Bowl this year. Their defense is the only thing that concerns me, more specifically their secondary, because they were just getting shredded last year. They're letting stupid amounts of yards just every game, and honestly, defense wins championships. Even though your offense could be amazing, obviously an average defense could always step up and make plays in big moments, but it's really hard when you're almost dead last in every category. I think they'll clean it up though, but we'll have to just watch and see. Let me know your predictions in the comments down below for the Bengals this season. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, go ahead and subscribe for more NFL content. Other than that, my name is Noah and I'm out. Peace.